Hello everybody and welcome back to the Go4LoL. This is going to be the last game of today, the grand final between FootsieBlanket on the red side and the Teamspeak crew on the blue side. And I must apologize for this slight delay. It seemed that FootsieBlanket, they had to play a little longer because they weren't really done with the game at 8 as they were supposed to. But we are actually finally in the game, so we can get on the way. And if we take a look at the pick and bans, and starting with the bans, we have Lulu being banned for the Teamspeak crew, and we have Gangplank being banned for the FootsieBlanket team. So this means that the Teamspeak crew, I love the ban because Lulu, I feel like she's such a strong champion, utility. She has a little bit of damage as well because she will build AP, but she's generally a strong champion and I love to see her. She fits into every meta and she's really one of my favorite champions to watch. And then Irelia is also going to be banned, and I think that might be a target ban. I'm not quite sure, but we don't usually see a Irelia coming out, so that's most likely going to be a target ban, as is the Cillian and the Gangplank on the side of FootsieBlanket, because the Cillian and the Gangplank are two champions that I know Remick likes to play, and especially Cillian is a strong ban against him because Cillian, he's a lane bully. His bombs will deal a lot of damage, and his ultimate can also be very important, as it can revive one of his fellow champions. So I'm not quite convinced by the Gangplank ban, however, as Gangplank got nerfed in the latest patch and he can now only store 3 barrels, and this means that you have to play more conservative about your barrels, and you have to make every barrel count, because in the end you are shorter on resources in order to get your barrels in. But the last bans coming out, Poppy and Fiora, and we see the first pick coming in from the Teamspeak crew, and that is going to be the Nidalee. So now you have a strong jungler. Nidalee usually goes for the strength of Aegis just to be more tanky, and with the runic echoes, she brings damage to the table as well, and her movement speed from it also allows her to get faster around the map, make more plays, and be a bigger threat here in the early game. But the runic echoes, the movement speed have been nerfed a little bit, so now it gives 7% movement speed instead of 10%, but still Nidalee, with her passive where she gets more movement speed when she runs through bushes, is still going to be strong enough. However, the first pick for FootsieBlanket are going to be Kindred and Alistar, and now the Kindred pick is something that really stands out to me, because Alistar is more or less a natural pick at this point, just because he empowers dives. Once he hits level 6, his unbreakable will makes him very strong, and he's just going to get stronger and stronger, and diving is just going to get more common from that point. But the Kindred also works really well with the Alistar, because now you have Lamb's Spite, and you can just stay on the towers for so long without going down. So really, Kindred and Alistar, I love these two picks, and Kindred is of course a flex pick, as she can go, as they can go to both the jungle and the AD carry position. With that being said, the Teamspeak crew, they immediately lock in Braum and Lucian. So now Braum and Lucian, they have that strong bottom lane synergy going with them. And especially Braum and Lucian are so strong right now because Lucian is a lane bully, and Braum empowers Lucian with the concussive blows, making sure that Lucian, he's just always going to have a party in the bottom lane, because the concussive blows are so easy to proc when playing Lucian. Now, something being locked in from FootsieBlanket are that Ahri. So you get an assassin, you get the charm, and with Ahri, you have the Spirit Rush. Once he hits level 6, he's going to be roaming around the map, trying to make plays with the Spirit Rush, and with them already looking for dives, I really like this pickup. And now Kalista is also going to be locked in, so again, you get this power curve around the early to mid game with Ahri and Kalista, And especially Kalista is also very, very good, because now you have a AD carry. Once she gets her Fate's Call, she can just help dive. You'll get more crowd control out of her, and the damage, of course, is going to be on par with both Ahri and Kindred. So really, I love Kalista in this current meta, and especially in the current meta where it's all about getting the momentum and the pressure going from the get-go, from the start of the game. That's really usually the team that wins, if you can just utilize your team's composition to pull ahead. But now the last 2 picks are about to come in from the Teamspeak crew, and it could potentially be the Graves and the Lux, as the time is running out and the Graves will be locked in. So now that means that Cubon most likely are going to be playing a Graves in the top lane. So while not having a definite tank on the side of the Teamspeak crew, you do have the Braum, and he will do as much tanking as he can. But Graves is going to be building a kind of tank build with both a Morph Morpheus and a Sterix Gauge. So a little bit of tankiness, but then again, a pick composition, a teamfight composition, a mix of those coming out from the Teamspeak crew. They just want to burst, they want to brute force their way into objectives and into leads. Whereas there are also a lot of team fighting on the side of FootsieBlanket. And especially the last pick for them, the Rams pick, is something I think is going to be very essential if they can pick up the win. Because this means that they can shut down one target at a time from the Teamspeak crew. So really, Rams is something we have to look out for. But now, 3-minute delay has been reached, and we'll take a short break. When we return, we will have the grand final. So don't go anywhere, guys, and we'll be right back. Welcome in game everybody. Now the last game of today can start. It is going to be the two grand finalists of the FootsieBlanket on the red side and the Teamspeak crew once again on the blue side. The Teamspeak crew, a team that often comes out and brings their A game all the way to the grand final. However, now FootsieBlanket, they have picked up the Rammus, and that is a pick that we have to keep our eye out for, because Rammus in the top lane, he can get so tanky and he can really shut down someone like Cubon, Morphosky, even Remick. He just needs to get in there and then taunt them up, because that means that they are more or less 100% dead. Because at that point, Nico Senpai, Moonman TV, I brought my tent, all of them, they can just pile onto them and then more or less just burst them so very fast. So Rammus pick is something we really have to keep our eye out for. And you can see both of the top laners, they are starting at their jungler in case there are going to be a lane swap coming in, just so they can stay there and do the bot jungling. But now the game has started, and both of the bot laners are going to do their respective bottom lane jungle monster. Crocs for the blue side and Grump for the red side. So now they do get a small advantage going into their lane, as both of them are going to be reaching level 2 power spike very fast, and you can already see the power spike of Forsaken and Moonman TV going in, as Morphosky, he takes a lot of damage and is forced to already use his potion. So now they have been set behind a little bit here in the early stages of the laning phase, but Morphosky, with the help of the relic shield and the help of the potion, of course, is going to get up there, have his health back, and not be too far behind, because now all he's really missing is a lifeline in which he can get some health back if needed. But now they're slowly pushing towards Moonman TV and Forsaken, so this means that picking up minions are going to be fairly easy, because with them being so close to their tower, they are safe. They should never really have any trouble. But as we look on the map, we can see I brought my tent. He's moving towards the bottom lane. However, that is warded, so he doesn't really want to do too much about it. And all he really wanted there in the bottom lane was to get the Scuttle Crab, because that was his mark, and now he has a stack. Even in the top lane, Eternal Galaxy, he's having a hard time farming against Cubon, and that's naturally because Cubon, as the Graves, have a range advantage over Rammus. So this means that Rammus is of course going to take a lot of harassment, as he cannot really turn anything back. But Eternal Galaxy, only being behind 5 CS, really, I mean, he's doing a great job at farming. He's not really fallen too far behind, and he did go for a cloth and 5 potions, so he really had a lot of sustain needed. So you can just wait for Eternal Galaxy to go in and taunt Cubon, and then pick up the kill once it's necessary, with the help of I brought my tent. But there's going to be taking a long time before that happens, because at that point, when they want to do that, you need to have Eternal Galaxy in a good point, and that could be now. However, Visor Elite is also in the top lane, and I brought my tent is taking a lot of damage, and here goes the first blood over to Cubon, and it doesn't look like the Teamspeak crew are done yet, but Eternal Galaxy are forced to back out, even Flash, and now they have been put a little bit behind. And I mean, FootsieBlanket, you know, you can't really do that if you don't have any vision of your opponent. You need to have some vision of Nidlee. You need to know where she is, or something like this will happen, and you will be put behind in terms of momentum and pressure on the map. So you can just see in the top lane they pushed onto the tower and taking a 3/4 of its health. So they just really utilized that kill that they got, but D-Lord is taking a lot of damage and the stacks are really going into him. Doesn't land the Spirit throw on the side of Moonman TV, but gets a lot of stacks, and in the end they really put back a little bit of damage that Forsaken also took. And I like what I brought my tennis doing, because he did get killed right there, and immediately he just moves into the enemy jungle, try to invade a little bit, try to get some form of advantage back. And I mean, that's really the way you have to play, because as I've already mentioned, this meta is so much about who can get the pressure, who can get the momentum rolling for yourself, and you get that by counter jungling, by shutting down one jungler. That's really an easy way to do it. And so it's good for I brought my tent to do that. And you can also see with the jungle item that I brought my tent went for, the Skirmisher Saber, he didn't really go for any jungler item that would benefit his team. He went for something that instead would benefit his himself, really, because this is a very selfish item in terms of warding, especially because now with the Tracker's Knife you have such an easy way of getting vision out onto the map, and especially with how restricted vision is right now, because vision is something you don't really get. You need to get it from trinkets if you don't get it from the side stone and the Tracker's Knife. And really, you don't see that many warding totems coming out. You see more of the scrying orbs and the sweeping lenses. So while I love to see the Skirmisher Saber just because it involves more action, I still feel like it's very selfish, and something like the Tracker's Knife in the end really would be better. So I had to wait and see how I brought my tent utilizes this Skirmisher Saber, because you have to keep invading, keep looking for engages in order to have it really pan out for you. And you're not really doing that right now, and I would love to see I brought my tent go to the top lane, for example, because that's really a way for you to get a lockdown target and just utilize all of that true damage that you would get from the Skirmisher Saber. However, I don't like the trade that they're making right now, because you can see that FootsieBlanket, they get a dragon, whereas the Teamspeak crew, they get a tower. So already here, we're only 10 minutes into the game, and already the Teamspeak crew, they have a lead of nearly 4,000 gold. This is way more than they had in the last game, and it all comes from how Rammus just have been left alone in the top lane. He haven't gotten any help, and he's just been really on a island the whole game. He hasn't got any help, and now we're going to be fighting in the bottom lane. Fate's Call comes out, but the Forsaken goes on to Morphosky, but Moonman TV is getting turned on, and now Morphosky is the one taking a lot of damage, but D-Lord is also coming in, and here comes the teleport from Eternal Galaxy. Eternal Galaxy will not pick up the kill, but that will be Forsaken picking up the kill. A small misplay now that the Alistar got the kill. Not really what you wanted, but here comes I brought my tent, and they are fishing for another kill with Bicycle leading in the bottom lane. This could very well be his demise. He's forced to flash away, and here comes unlucky Cuban. I is forced to use Lamb's Despite, and everybody is in a bad situation right now as they are under the tower. Here comes everything from the side of the Teamspeak crew. They pick up a double kill, and have Bicycle gone too far? I think he might have, as I brought my tent and Eternal Galaxy picks up the kill. I brought my tent, however, will go down to Cuban once again, but here comes Nico Senpai finally joining the fight, but D-Lord is already on him, and Nico Senpai gets out with a sliver of a chance of getting taken down, because that concussive blows were so close to being procced. And now Nico Senpai only has his flash left, so there are no Spirit Visage, oh my god, Spirit Rush on the side of Nico Senpai, so he has to play careful. But again, a fight coming out from the Teamspeak crew. They got thrown around the arena to start with. They really were the ones not dictating the fight in the start, but they just turned it around when FootsieBlanket went too far. When FootsieBlanket they went too far, they ended up in a bad position behind the towers, and they just capitalized on that, made sure that they would get every possible good outcome for themselves out of that, and they did that perfectly, because now again getting closer and closer to that 4,000 gold lead. It couldn't really be better for them, so they just had to keep digging, and they had to play around Cuban, who has 3 kills, because Cuban on that Graves with the Humus Ghostblade is really itemizing for the early game. Humus Ghostblade is not a late game item, it's an early to mid game powered item, and if you can play around Cuban, who also has some good stats in his base kit, he is playing Graves. They could really start to fight, but here comes the teleport from Cuban, and the Eternal Galaxy is also in the bottom lane. Moonman TV taking a lot of stats, always being chunked out, and here comes Visor Elite as well. Collateral damage killing up Moonman TV, and Eternal Galaxy is the one being focused now, but here comes Nico Senpai, and he's putting down a lot of damage onto D-Lord, but I'm not quite sure D-Lord will go down as the shield from Lux comes in, so D-Lord will survive. And immediately the Teamspeak crew, after picking up 2 kills, will turn their sights onto the tower, and they're dictating this game. FootsieBlanket are not able to do anything, and they are just creeping towards a 6,000 gold lead, just getting closer and closer to that 10,000 gold lead, and we're only 30 minutes into the game. I mean, there's really nothing FootsieBlanket can do at this point, because you have fed Cuban, and Cuban is dealing so much damage now. Remick is taking a lot of damage, but Forsaken will go down to the spear of Visor Elite, and here comes Eternal Galaxy. The taunt will come in, and it's going to go onto Remick. Remick will be taken down by the Pierce of Moonman TV, and here comes the charm from Nico Senpai. Mufowski is also going down, and a 6,000 gold lead it was, but now it's only 5,400 gold in the lead for the Teamspeak crew. Definitely not as much as 6,000, but very close too. And Dragon is respawning in 1 minute. It was FootsieBlanket who got the first Dragon, but I could very well see the Teamspeak crew pick up the next Dragon, as they are so far ahead. Just play around Cuban. Cuban also getting very close to getting the Morpheus. More armor pen. I mean, this Graves is just getting out of control. The more armor pen you get, the more damage you get, the stronger Graves will get, and at that point it's going to be far too late. But both teams are, well, at least the Teamspeak crew, they have the dominance around the Dragon area with two pink wards. So, sorry, I got distracted by that final spark coming from Remick picking up the blue buff. But as I was saying, there are far more presence from from the Teamspeak crew around the dragon right now, as they have 4 wards, 2 pink wards and 2 normal wards around the area. And now they're going to clear out the only ward from FootsieBlanket there. But FootsieBlanket, they have more champion presence around the map, I guess we can call it. So really, if they want to initiate a fight, then now would probably be the best time. Also, the thing about fighting right now is that Cubon, he doesn't have a teleport, so you can see he's immediately moving around the mid area. He can't go to the top lane, because that means that he won't be able to join the fight. And here comes Nico Senpai. He's forced to use the Spirit Rush teleport coming in from Eternal Galaxy, but Cubon's taking a lot of damage for seconds, being forced to use his Unbreakable Will, and Last Spite also coming out. Here comes the final spike. Mofosky picks up a kill onto I brought my 10. Eternal Galaxy now the one being focused, and Cubon is putting down a lot of damage onto Eternal Galaxy, but Moonman TV is getting taken down by Mofosky. Forsaken now also the one being killed, and now actually Forsaken not going down. It was I had a brain fart, sorry, but they pick up 3 kills again. The Teamspeak crew not being punished too much in that fight, and they can also again immediately pick up a tower. Now this might be the second in a turret, and this could be the tipping point of that 10,000 gold lead. Now they are only up 9,000 gold, not quite there yet, but creeping closer and closer to it. And now they will also get the first dragon of the game, so 6% AD and AP going over to the side of the Teamspeak crew, but they have to be fast as the cavalry is closing in to rain on their parade. And I mean, Remix so close to getting hit by that charm, but Nico Senpai will not quite land that, so they do not get it. And this means that that the Teamspeak crew, they just had to go back. I mean, you can't even push up the mid lane from FootsieBlanket, because the final spark and the loosened singularity will just be there to clear the waves. Remick doesn't have to go back, have enough mana to stay there until one of his team members comes up, but he's just going to be staying around there. Mofosky's in the bottom lane, have already gone back and bought up a seal and a Kirche's shard. Kirche's shard, yeah. So bought up those 2, and he have a small power spike. He's it's not that big because he haven't gotten his rapid fire cannon or static shiv, depending on what he wants quite yet. But still, his crits are able to come in now, and he has some attack speed also coming in. Cubon just there we go, he's standing on the ward. But Remick were able to go back and pick up some items after getting a lot of gold. He had 2k in his pocket, so we were able to go back, get a void stuff. So really, whoever gets picked now is just going to get bursted so fast by Remick, and he's no joke right now, because Remick with both. Oh D-Lord, what are you doing? What are you doing, D-Lord? Oh, you're baiting a fight, I see. Here comes Cubon in from the side. He has more of Morpheus, and he's getting close to the stairs gate, so he's very tanky and he's not going down quite yet. Here comes Nico Senpai with a flash, but goes straight into a light binding, and Nico Senpai goes down. Double kill for Cubon. I brought my 10 being taken down by Mofosky as well, and everybody's just falling on the side of the team. Sorry, from the FootsieBlanket, and the Teamspeak crew are not done yet. They're looking for a pick onto Eternal Galaxy, finds it, and Eternal Galaxy goes down to the Teamspeak crew. Now Remick is looking for a pick onto Forsaken, but Forsaken doesn't even have his Unbreakable Will, so he will not survive this. He's going to get taken down. That's an ace for Visek Elite and the rest of the Teamspeak crew. Now they're knocking on the front door. They want to pick up an inhibitor, and actually 3 spawns coming in from FootsieBlanket. They picked up the kill onto Moonman once again. Only 2 persons alive now on the side of FootsieBlanket, and just hit the inhibitor. God damn it, Mofoski. You want to get out of there very, very fast. You do not want to stay there anymore, as everybody is respawning on the side of FootsieBlanket. But here comes the surrender. 20 minutes into the game, a surrender coming in from FootsieBlanket. Very well played. In the end, they got dictated around by the Teamspeak crew. The Teamspeak crew, again, showing their superior skills and showing that they are a team to be reckoned with. They've picked up the kill, and they really just snowballed with a few kills that they got off of Cuban. But they pick up the kill, the win, sorry, and in the end it is going to be the Teamspeak crew winning. So thank you all for watching. That's going to be the last game of today for me. And remember, if you liked the shoutcasting, you can go over, subscribe to this channel. You can even find me on Facebook and Twitter to just make sure to know whenever I'm casting. So I'll post the links in the chat in a little time, and I'll see you next time. So thank you all for watching, and have a good one.